Hi, this is Fashion is Art back again. Yet another episode featuring myself, Braden Schwab, and we'll get right into it. We're going to be breaking down 5 hip hop album covers. We'll have a video later on this year that's going to depict all of the best album covers, but for now, we really just want to focus on the hip hop and leave that for another day. We're going to be keying in on 2 factors. First off, is going to be the creativity of the album cover and how the album cover's message resonated with the message of the album. For example, you think of an album like Drake's Take Care, the album cover itself was kind of dark, dreary, a little bit sad, but with a slight tinge of like hopefulness, on your own, crying in the club type of vibe. Where his album with songs like Marvin's Room, Practice, Crew Love, all these songs like this depict that sad, mellow feeling that you have throughout the album itself. So the album art perfectly relates to the message and conveys to the message of the album. So that's kind of where you want to balance it. I feel artwork has been steering away from things like typography and people versus place. So people versus place essentially is the act of using more of the people, or you have a straight up landscape or a portrait, like just showing off the place. Now I see with the people, it's a lot more creativity in the better album covers with people, and they'll mix in the two versus keeping them apart. That makes sense. Without further ado, let's get into the first one. More Mother, their album cover, Jazz Codes. And Jazz Codes was very interesting to me because it seems that they are looking to depict a lot of things going on in that album. Whereas where you look at it, one thing pops up, then you see all these other things going on too. The more you look at the album cover, the more you see. You see people, different faces popping up. You kind of get a nod back to older times with the roots, a lot of gold, a lot of kind of flashiness within the album, which I think conveys the creativity of this artist to kind of bring apart that type of energy into the album. Very poetic and very vibrant when it comes to like the whole jazz aspect of things. Bringing that into hip hop was very cool. And one of my favorites of the year is JID. You're dropping The Forever Story, long anticipated album. Literally, you look at this album art and it speaks for itself. It is a forever story. He breaks down a lot of things you expect in the lives of a black man or woman. There are shootouts with the police. There are basketball games, incarceration, jail time, baby mama drama, girls just posing, in more subjective ways. All these things are just going around, as you can see in this cover, and you got JID right in the center of it. Like, this is my story, but it's going to go on forever, so it's also your story. That makes sense. And his storytelling on the album perfectly accentuates that energy. So when you listen to the album, you know that this is exactly what he's talking about. Similar to how Kendrick Lamar will have an album cover, and when he storytells, he puts that into what his overall purpose is, which is one of those many similarities I've seen between Kendrick Lamar and JID, which are pretty cool. And segueing right into, this is personally my favorite, Lay Kelly 47, Shape Up. When I look at this album cover, not only does it perfectly define the title, like literally, you're in the chair, you're getting the shape up on the side, straight to the point. But what I also liked is the face is kind of blurred off. It connects very well to the Beauty series that's already been going on, kind of wraps it up in a nice way, in my opinion, if that's the plan. You never know these days. I never thought the Carter 5 would be on the way. When I was younger, I thought it would be done at 3, maybe 4. The pixelation on the left side is pretty cool. So you don't identify the face, but you see enough of the face to like accentuate the beauty, the look, to kind of get an idea of who it is while keeping the mystery alive. And again, the creativity. They didn't have to add the pixelation, add the blur, add any of that part. It could have just been a person getting a shape up. We've seen a lot of album covers that will do something straight up simple like that, but they went the extra mile, and that's why it's on this list. This is Koji Radical, UK artist, with his album cover Reason to Smile. Reason to Smile, you've got Koji in the center. He's rising up. He's doing much more than most. Instead of walking on water, this man is rising above water. It's a nice nod to his Ghanaian roots, with the woman depicted here wearing that ceremonial outfit as well. And you got the nice city landscape in the background. This makes you literally want to smile. It's a nice sunshine sort of vibe, good moods, good energy. And that's what I've come to expect when I listen to this album, the same sort of thing. And that's what you get if you check it out. It's, again, much more underground than a lot of people are used to. And a lot of the American viewers are probably not familiar with him regardless, but definitely a good one to check out. I recommend all these albums as well. And the next one that we'd like to get into, which is the final one, Earth Gang, Ghetto Gods. Earth Gang, really great duo that's affiliated with Dreamville. They've been doing this for some time. Great group, great duo, so to speak. A light version of Outkast with Andre and Big. But the point I want to make is this album cover is kind of taking both of them and putting them back into a time where maybe that was their environment they had growing up. They're looking past the chain link fence. They've got eyes all around them. But it's not in the negative. Ghetto Gods, it makes me think of it's more seen as a protection. And in their music, they will reference that to an extent to give you the idea of the album that it's not always so bad in the ghetto, in that neighborhood, in that upbringing, what they had growing up. Now, obviously, there are the negatives that are touched on, but the positive sides as well, to where you kind of feel their pain and their upbringing throughout the whole album. And again, the album cover really depicts that from a young age, like it's something that they had to grow up with, that they're used to, and they know pretty well. So if that's something that you can reference to, it's something that you will relate very well to just by seeing the album art. You're like, this was me. So then you go into the album, and then you can feel even more at home at that point. But those are the 5 albums. And again, as we go through all of them, you see a common theme. They are taking their message and they are defining it throughout the album. They're taking the album art and setting the tone. The same way that we might post our thumbnails, we always want to make sure it's something that applies to the video that we're doing. Like for this video, you see the thumbnail. It's not me out throwing a football or on a random vacation. It's something that has to do with the album arts that we're covering today. Something that when you see the picture, boom, you're going to get the idea of, okay, this is what it ties into, so you know what to expect. And in a day and age where attention spans run so thin and so dry, it's good to get a good visual to get an idea of what you're going to be going into, a preview, so to speak. And of course, all creative. I was very happy to see this sort of work. I wish other albums were a little bit more out there when it came to just creativity with album art. I feel a lot of people don't care as much as they used to, but the ones that do, I hope they get their credit in the near future for sure. And the great artists as well who design these covers should all be given their props for that work. But that's all I wanted to talk about for this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below your favorite album artwork covers just in general. And you might even see them covered at the end of the year when we go over the best hip hop covers of, sorry, not the best hip hop covers. I'm running back and forth, but the best album art covers overall. And until next time, I'm out. These my dallas make it hurt.